Yeah. Did you get that hawking loogie up in there?
Yeah.
Get that sound effect.
Tip of the tongue.
Lips, teeth, tip of the tongue.
Lips, teeth, tip of the tongue.
From the middle is a founding member of Odd Pod.
That's it.
All right, let me do it again.
Nope, that's it. That's it.
Let me do it
Put
again.
It in the can.
I'll give you another one.
One more.
From the middle is a founding member of Odd Pods Media. Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to episode 173 of From the Middle. We are three middle-class guys living in the middle of America in the middle chapters of our lives with a point of view that's somewhere in the middle. And if you're unsure of what that gobbledygook means, we're a comedy, culture, entertainment, and interview-style podcast. In this episode, we keep it nice and light with road rage incidents, horror film marketing. Sorry, that one slipped right away from me. Something about whiskey and snitches getting stitches.
Killer lions.
There's killer lions.
Drug use.
There's drugs. There's all kinds of stuff. And I'm not even joking. But this is definitely me hyping it up a little
And Lego. Can't forget about our precious Lego.
Enjoy the episode.
Oh, for the love.
Sorry, just clearing my Mountain Dew hole.
I got my phone hole cleaned today.
That's where you keep it? You're so cerebral and you're so developed and evolved.
From the middle after dark over here.
I'm so confused by Gen Z. We've talked about this before,
Sure.
but a new thing popped up in the socials that I was just sort of shaking my head at. Wanted to run it past you guys. So it's fall here in the Midwest.
It is.
Part of Midwest tradition is for high schoolers and junior high schoolers is something called homecoming, mostly high schoolers. Homecoming is where the local football team has a home game and there's a homecoming court and you vote on a class king and queen. And the next day, because football games are on Fridays, the next day there's a big dance.
Right.
And everybody dresses up in formal clothing, not as formal as like a prom, like an end of year dance. So it's usually like shorter dresses because it's still warm enough for that. And all the posts, Hoko, hashtag Hoko22.
Hoko.
In like I'm sorry, but like I would never let my daughter be seen in some of the short skirts, skin tight. And first of all, I've never heard Hoko used before. Is that new to each of you? And they're doing the Asian girl like, peace, Hoko 22.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't understand. I'm just a fuddy-duddy. I'm just an old fuddy-duddy.
I applaud Gen Z's empathy, but they're exhausting. I'm tired. Just you telling that story, I'm tired.
Hoko 22.
I've never heard Hoko before. No one ever felt the need to shorten it because I don't think it needed it.
Anyway,
But here we are.
I saw that for the first time this year and thought it was worth mentioning. How you guys doing? It's good to be back in studio.
Yeah.
Sure
Did
is.
you see that they launched adult Happy Meals?
I heard about this on
That's a
Sunny
thing?
95.
Yeah, I don't know.
Morning.
I was just gonna ask, what kind of loser did they build this for? And then
This one right here.
Turns out Kendall and I both went and got some.
I scoffed at the idea and was like, but I'm going to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, we are that loser that this is built for.
What is that?
What toy did you
What
get?
toy did you? What is that?
I didn't really get one, but I want to get one.
It looks like Rorschach from freaking.
This is a new character. So it's, what is it? The cactus something. Cactus something market.
The Sugar
flea
Hill
market.
Gang. Sugar plumping.
Cactus plantation flea market.
I don't know what any of those
But
words were.
the toys for the adults are just these little collectible figurines, and most of them are the McDonald's
cast and crew that we're all familiar with, Grimace and the Hamburglar and
Sure.
and stuff. But they added this guy, which is like Cactus Jack or something like that. Is his name?
Cactus Jack reminds me of the WWF days, but he looks like Rorschach from The Watchmen.
I was
Yeah.
thinking maybe that mixed up with Forky from Toy Story. A little bit.
So last week, so I'm piggybacking off your story. Last week
Okay.
we talked about Kendall getting back into newspapers
Mhm.
or enjoying. You've been into them for a while. You were considering long-term subscription to Wall Street Journal.
Right. Yeah.
I listened to morning radio for the first time in a decade.
Like news radio?
No, morning talk radio, Sunny 95.
Oh, okay.
Just them talking in the
Gotcha.
morning. And they were
Yeah.
talking about adult Happy Meals. And the question posed to the listeners was, what treat, toy, object, gift, bonus thing would you like as an adult in your Happy Meal? Well, I'll pose the question to the two of you. What, as an adult, what would you like in your Happy Meal?
I have to set what feels like an obvious parameter. It has to be something small / cheap enough that they would theoretically include, right?
Because some people were saying like,
Cash.
calling in and saying, a car.
Of course.
Yeah. Okay. So assuming it's kind of realistic, I feel like a really, really easy one is to just start doing any Marvel or Star Wars characters in a very small scale, like half a G.I. Joe. They don't have to be posable, but they could be painted, and that would be a very simple, like, get a collectible, whoever, Captain America, and then go back to try to get the Iron Man, and then go back to try to get Deadpool, and then I think that would be
This is for adults, though, Dylan.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I would want
That's what.
in an adult Happy Meal.
okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Kendall?
I know that people had said this, that, you know, the little airline bottles of liquor would be a good thing.
It's in the drive-through.
Yeah. Put it in the drive-thru and
Okay.
make sure it comes with a tiny straw.
Or a little bottle nipple. To the top.
Hashtag bottle nipple.
Yeah. Man, that's a hard question. Like I feel like Dylan's on the right track with movie stuff. Maybe maybe for a week they could give out like those little neoprene sleeves that they sell optionally when you're. Have you guys seen that on the drive-thru menu? You can buy a drink sleeve.
No.
So that way you
So
don't
something
get
functional for your Happy Meal.
something functional for your drink. You put that little guy in your drink. It's a reusable. It fits the McDonald's cups perfectly, and you don't get water collecting in your cup holder, and you keep your drink a little colder.
Okay. I like the functional track. So somebody called in and said, no, it was one of the DJs because I was surprised he said this. I want something functional, not just some cheap tchotchke that I'm going to throw away. And he said, you can't have too many thumb drives. And I was like, who's still using thumb drives?
No kidding.
I was surprised to hear a DJ say that he's using thumb drives.
Although they are cheap enough now that you could do that.
So
I was thinking, isn't it Chick-fil-A kids meals? They have the like conversation question cards. You could do like a fun game version of that
Sure.
for adults.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
I was thinking just incorporate Monopoly somehow into or something
Bring
like
Monopoly
that.
back.
Yeah.
Mini versions of board games.
Because that would encourage them to come back to collect, the whole color set or whatever, like some version of Monopoly where adults aren't going to care about maybe like little plastic toys like you and I do. Because I still just want the toys they're giving kids. Those are fine with me.
Well, wasn't that part of why they did this? Like the last time McDonald's ran a promotion with like Pokemon cards or figures, a bunch of adults were coming in to buy them up.
Oh,
Wasn't
that could be. That could be the green light there for him. The light bulb flickered in a CEO room, and
Yeah, somebody. Now, is the food essentially just a large combo
yeah,
in a box,
yeah,
but with a toy,
and more expensive,
which
yeah.
makes sense. So what's an adult Happy Meal? Like $9, $10?
Yeah, it's like $10, $11 or something like that. I forget what I paid. It was in that ballpark, and it's essentially it's a medium Big Mac meal or 10-piece nugget meal.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I think they could do many versions of classic board games. I think that would be fun. Imagine a tiny battleship or a tiny chess or poker set or something like that. Little cards, little board. People would use that. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Somebody was saying, what if for the adult Happy Meals, you did for every 1,000 regular treats, there's a bigger thing. Sort of like Monopoly, you incentivize people to come through, and it could be a high dollar item.
Sure.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of fun. Interesting. Was there ever a toy that was being given away in children's Happy Meals that as an adult you went in and said, can I just purchase the toy?
Never. Have I ever?
I've never gone back as an adult, but that doesn't mean that I've never seen a commercial and thought, I'd kind of want that. Yeah, like that looks kind of fun. Obviously, they always make them look cooler in the commercial.
That they do. I've definitely had the thought that like when I was a kid, I would have loved that.
Yeah.
So I remember Wendy's when I was a kid had the best run on kids meal toys because they were doing bicycle accessories, and they had like the little handlebar pouch that you could zip up, and I don't even remember what else they had. But I remember that was the only time that like my sister and I were like begging our parents to go to Wendy's because we wanted whatever was going on this week at Wendy's.
Huh.
That's so funny. I think there was a string of Power Ranger accessories. The assumption was you probably already had the costume, or were make-believing you had the costume. And so like they were going to pass along little, whatever, Morphin Time things, flutes, badges, wrist bracelets, things that you could get. Speaking of toys, maybe this is yearly and it's just because we bought a house that they sent us one. Amazon sent us a toy catalog.
Oh, we just got one too.
Yeah.
Today.
Have they been doing that for a while?
A couple of years. I think.
Of course, a
That
lot
I
of the
know of.
items say like Amazon exclusive on them as you're
Right.
looking. There's no prices or
Sure.
anything. But I was glad to know that I was working when it arrived, was unaware that it had been there. My daughter had already gone through and had been circling things with my wife.
Nice.
And, like that's a very distinct childhood Christmas memory.
Yes, it is. That's fun, man.
Whether you had the Toys R Us catalog or some department store catalog or something.
Right.
And even if we don't buy them on Amazon, it was just nice to have the catalog. I'm sure they heard that. Those adults are now in boardrooms deciding things like that, going, man, I loved the magazines when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Well, I
Man.
will say they will sell you just the toy at McDonald's. There was a special promotion, Star Wars collect all whatever,
Sure.
and for whatever it was cool enough that I, as a college student, I think walked in and was like, "Hey, do you have any of the Darth Maul?" And they will sell you just that.
Y'all got any more of them Darth Mauls? And you somehow
Did it sound more like, do you guys got any more of them Darth Mauls? That'd be sweet.
similarly to trying to get your
I'm going to come back to that.
greedy little hands on specific toys, you always seem to have luck at the Lego store with the random minifig
the
bags,
mystery
the mystery
minifigs.
bags. And I could go in and try to sweet talk those nice Lego folks as much as I can, and everyone's like, we can't help you.
All right, so
Find which ones you want." And then like the next day, Kory would be like, "Yeah, they help me pick out one of each of the 16 in the series, so I have one of each now."
Okay.
And I don't know how you do it.
We got to give the people context. So, minifigures are the Lego people.
Right.
And they do a series every year or so. I think it's every calendar year. They'll do a series of mystery minifigs. You typically can't buy just the people by themselves. And that is often most people's favorite part. So if you want like a rare Darth Maul, Star Wars minifigure, you have to buy a big set that he's included in. But these are not licensed characters. These are just cute. The Lego just makes up cute random civilians or people in costumes.
As an example, they had one. I just saw one. They had a specifically like a Nutcracker guy.
Yeah.
That would never be in a set on its own, really.
And it's not
just,
always holiday themed. Sometimes
Sure.
it's like hot dog vendor, and it's just a cool little. They're really cute,
Yeah.
and they come in a pack of not in a pack. Sorry, it's like a collect all 12, I think. But the packaging is opaque. You can't see through it, and you're just randomly grabbing those little bags for $3, $4, $5, and hoping you get all 12, and it's highly tradable and really fun. Well, sometimes if you convince the right Lego employee, they had done it long enough to feel their way around the packages enough because there was usually one distinctive characteristic or piece for that specific character. Like he comes with a bat, or that guy comes with a space helmet, or that guy comes with a little pet dog. And they would like feel the packages for you and go like, this one's the cop, this one's the robot, this one's the hot dog vendor, if you were nice enough and they weren't too busy. And I would always try to like sweet talk them into doing that for me so that I could get the whole set. And it worked on many occasions, but that's how diehard I am about collecting things.
And they have done them in licensed set now. They've done DC, and right now you can go get Muppets mystery bag minifigures.
Simpsons. They did a Simpsons series.
Yeah. Yeah, so they've done licensed characters as well.
That's fun.
Yep.
Anyway, enough about toys. What's going on with you cats? How's life? It's cooling off. We've had a couple chilly mornings, frost even.
So good. Yeah, part of the beauty of working from home is that I often don't feel those dramatic changes, and I'm like, I guess 6:30, I'll go outside to go get dinner. Maybe I'll throw a coat on since I haven't had pants on all day, and let myself warm up before I go outside. No, I was just saying on the way in, it's the little things sometimes as you get older that you get very excited about. We just layered in on our bed a very thick plush, like fleece blanket in between our sheet and comforter, and it just makes it that much more cozy to like pull up to your neck and just like nuzzle yourself into the pillow as you're warming on a cold night. And it's great. I don't walk around and sweat everywhere that I go. It's a wonderful time of year.
Does it feel like the line has gotten much more harsh? Does it feel like it goes from hot to frost in the mornings? I feel like fall, September used to be like, oh, it's great camping weather. It just feels like the last couple of years it's gone too hot to camp outside in the evenings to it's below 40 now in the evening.
Yeah. I think that's the way it's gone this year, but I remember like the last couple of years, I remember it getting warm way late into the fall, almost in the winter. I distinctly remember mowing the lawn in December last year.
Yeah, I remember we talked about that on.
I think my guess is we're not done with warmer weather because I remember sweating.
To the oldies.
In the Midwest, we call that second summer.
No, I'm trying to not be as crass with my speaking, and I was about to use a thing that people say that they sweat off.
I'm proud of you, man.
Thank you.
It's growth.
It's anyway.
Takes a lot of huevos rancheros.
I have come home in sweat after taking the kids trick-or-treating, and I have been shivering while taking the kids trick-or-treating. So I'm not convinced we've made the change yet. It seems a little early to have made the hard change. But if this is it, if this is the end of summer, and it was like a one day to the next kind of thing.
There's it's funny, this past week our dad went from closing the pool to turning on his fireplace for the first time.
Yeah. We did AC to heat in less than a week.
It just feels like it's been especially abrupt. Anyway, there's like, I tell the kids, like, because they always want to camp in the middle of summer, and it's like, guys, it's still like 85 degrees at midnight. It's too hot to camp. And I always tell them, let's wait until like end of August, September. And now we got like 40 degrees.
Try it, man. See.
I personally like it, but I just know their little bodies.
Well,
don't have the
it gets so cold. Like the cold gets amplified when you're camping in a tent or a hammock or something like that. So
But my point being, like, there have been a couple years where that change was so abrupt that I never ended up making good on my promise because it was like you had like a 3-day window
right
to do decent camping, and it just, man, it's crazy.
How do you feel about that, lying to your children?
I think I think about it every day, and I'm disappointed in myself, and I'm sorry.
Is that why you're wearing the sunglasses? Because you're tearing up? And
No, it's because my future's too bright.
Has your wife been beating you? Is that? Oh, okay. There we go.
No, so coming back to
but you can put them on,
what
man.
was the thing
I
you
dig
said?
the look with the sweatshirt. It works,
What was
man.
the thing you said about? Oh,
I was using my nerd voice.
okay, the nerd voice. So I'm wearing a Crystalia shirt. You guys know I like Crystalia. I'm a fan.
Yeah.
But one of the things that ticks me off about him is every time he brings up, he's a comedian. Okay, so he's doing it because he's got a character anytime he's talking about something geeky. But he always does the same thing when he's like, and actually, it's funny you say that. That's not actually how it happened. Actually, the first comic that came up, he pushes up imaginary glasses, and the person always has a lisp. And it's like things I care about, like Marvel and Star Wars.
Yeah.
And I'm like, not all geeks have a lisp, man.
What was it? That S sounded
Actually,
weird to me.
it's funny you say that because most people don't know. This is interesting that you bring that up, right? But that's what he does every time he's doing the.
Oh boy! Oh man! Sometimes you can get the employees to help you out with the Lego figurines.
Sometimes, yeah, exactly. If you ask real nice, you can still buy that and Darth Maul figures from the Happy Meal set. We've made fun of speech impediments a couple weeks in a row now. Moving on. Hey, did you have anything you wanted to share?
No.
You said you had a light list this week, so
yeah, it's fine.
I got a few stories if you guys will.
Just trying not
if you
to
guys
breathe
don't
into the
mind.
microphone.
Maybe I do one. Oh man. Okay, we've been getting some let's call it feedback from our listeners on our Facebook group from the middle for the middlers,
Jesus.
as well as some messages about our noise making and chewing. And anyway, we love you all. So I was involved in another road rage incident.
Oh boy! Were there guns involved?
Not this time.
Good.
There were hand gestures involved. And I think I was in the right again, but I want to run it past you.
Everybody does.
So I'm on a 2-lane road.
Okay.
I see about 100 to 150 yards ahead that there is a black truck attempting a left turn.
Okay.
And the intersection is not like 90-degree angles. He's going to have to make a very acute angled turn. So he's going to like sort of double back over his left shoulder a bit.
He's turning
A very
more than 90.
More than 90-degree left.
Hard
Or
left.
less than yeah.
Up ahead of him is a long line of at least 10 or 12 cars.
Okay. Yeah.
And he's got his left turn signal on. He's at a complete stop.
Yep.
I slowly approach him,
Yeah.
do a quick look to the around his left to make sure none of those cars have their left blinkers on,
Yeah.
and go around him on the right.
Yeah.
When I go around him on the right, I hear and out of his sunroof, he just gives me the most aggressive middle finger you've ever seen.
Okay.
And
Wow.
I'm like, whoa, what did
Like the dude in the truck, not like someone
dude in
who
the
didn't
truck.
have their blinker coming the other way or something. It was the guy in the truck.
guy in the truck that was stopped,
Yeah.
that was going to have to wait at least 10 or 12 cars.
Yeah.
So a couple things here.
Yeah.
Have you, according to the way I read Ohio Revised Code 4511.28,
Okay. Wow. You've gone deep into this.
our father used to be state highway patrol, and I texted him about this.
Okay.
And I was like, is that allowed?
Mhm.
And he's like, well, it's been a while since I've been in the patrol, but it used to be, as long as you're not going off the paved road or around any solid lines to do so. And as long as you're doing it carefully, because one of those people could also be turning left and I
Right.
could T-bone them.
Yeah.
I don't know what I did wrong.
Yeah, I don't think you did anything wrong. I think some people just get perturbed.
So can I tell you what I did in response?
Yeah.
He's laying on his horn, aggressive bird. And all I can think to do, because I try to be a good Christian man.
Oh, God. Oh, boy.
All I could think to do was outside of the driver's side window, just shove a big thumbs up. And I held it. I locked my elbow, dude. I locked my elbow and just gave the most aggressive thumbs up you've ever seen. And this was the best part. There's like a mile stretch of road before the next curve. I just held it up the whole time. Because I'm like, I want him to see how far ahead of him I end up getting. And I'm still positive about it, despite his anger. So I just hold a thumbs up until the next bend. Oh.
Dylan, go.
Anytime somebody describes a situation like that, I always think of the scene from Dumb and Dumber where they're describing in the movie about how in a movie somebody catches up with somebody a half a mile down the road. And I always just sort of think, well, you're lucky they didn't catch up with you half a mile down the road.
And my next story has to do with that.
Great. I didn't even
So
know that.
did you have any?
Yeah, no, I can't disagree with your father, right?
Or Ohio revised code.
Or Ohio, whatever, something or other.
Ohio Revised Code 4511.28.
Yeah.
If you're curious.
My thought on that has always been like, it's probably illegal, but everybody does it. Right.
Okay. Yeah.
And so therefore I've done it.
Yeah.
And I would do it if the situation arose. That's my thought there. There are some people their goal in life is to like be the king of the road. And that means if anybody tries to get around me, I'm mad at them. I don't care the circumstance. I don't care why. I'm just going to be mad at someone who got around me. And those are the same people who are like, their only goal in life is to get in front of whoever's in front of them.
Yeah. I'm guilty.
Those people irk me. Like when you're driving down the highway, there are few things on the highway that give me more joy than to have somebody come out from behind me and then realize that the lane that they just got into is just a little bit slower and they don't quite have enough room to get in front of me unless I slow down for them, which I'm not going to do.
100.
But yeah, no, I like that. Those are the situations, I think I've mentioned this before, where I want to just keep a package of Mentos in the car. So that way, in those circumstances, when the guy goes around me and can't quite get through, I can just give him the Mentos Fresh Maker smile from the old commercials. I feel like that'd be a fun way to handle those situations. Anyway.
Instances where this man would be justified. I pull up on him at a high rate of speed and don't give myself enough time to make sure not one of those oncoming cars is turning left, because that puts him in danger. Because they'd probably spin out and hit him.
Yeah.
If one of those cars had already been in mid-turn and I just didn't see them, problematic.
Mm-hmm.
But there's not even a B. That's the only reason he can be mad. But I thought he's just mad that somebody made progress.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he was essentially blocking. He's just upset that like someone...
He wasn't doing anything wrong.
Right.
Until the bird came out. And then he turned into a jerk at that point.
Okay, so I was right.
God, look up here.
Okay.
Look up here.
Now you'll have to tell me if I was right in this next one, because I don't think I was. So Monday, got a team call from 11:30 to 1. That call was winding down when I get a text from our good friend Greg, who sends me a meme of a sports bike peeking its head around a brick wall that says, "Psst, want to go for a ride?"
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's a beautiful fall day. The cool has baked off and it's getting up into the high 60s, low 70s. And I'm like, I got some time. This would technically be my lunch break. I'm going to go out and join Greg and we're going to ride bikes.
Beautiful.
Sherry is in Denver. The kids are at school. This is all good. Make sure everything's buttoned up, but the dog's put away. Don't know how long I'm going to be gone. Might take a long lunch. Back the motorcycle out of the garage, not running. Just put it in neutral, back it down the hill. Park it on the hill, use my garage code to shut the garage behind me. When I look down to the dead end, just a house and a half away, when I see a silver vehicle, front windows cracked about an inch with smoke billowing out the side. My immediate thought is somebody's in trouble. Then I think, nope, I know what's going on here. Car parked at a dead end in a quiet neighborhood at lunchtime. They're hotboxing weed. So I'm like, okay, this is windows completely blacked, like probably tinted beyond the Ohio Revised Code.
It's still illegal in Ohio, by the way.
Yeah. So I can't see who's in there. For all I know, it's a high school kid. It could be an adult. I know nothing other than somebody's hotboxing. So I'm like, do I go down there and just sort of like scare them off? Not say anything, just like my presence might suggest, hey, can you guys do this elsewhere? Right?
Yeah.
Like, no, I shouldn't do that. I shouldn't put myself in it. Yeah, I'm going to do it. So get on the bike, fire it up, super loud, start to drive down. It's dead end. Start to drive down, realize there's not much space between their parked car and the camper that our neighbors have decided to park on the other side of the street.
Yeah.
So I'm very close to them.
Yeah.
And I sort of just, I glare at the driver's side window, but I can't see. I can't even make out a human form.
Yeah.
And they've rolled the windows up now. But I get a strong odor of
skunk.
marijuana.
Yeah.
So then I do my circle and then head back the other way and start to leave the neighborhood. I go about 4 or 5 houses down, park in front of a parked car with just a eighth of an inch of my side mirror to still have eyes on them behind me. And I start to call the cops. Not to be a snitchy snitch, but just to be like, hey, can you just scare these guys out of the neighborhood, whatever. As I'm starting to dial, the car turns on, they turn around, they're coming up behind me. So I cancel the call and they start to leave the neighborhood. Well, I was going to leave the neighborhood anyway, so I just wait a few seconds and leave the neighborhood. There's only one exit.
Yeah.
So they're far enough ahead, like in the movies, that this is a healthy distance for a tail now, right? Like they can't see me, but I've still got eyes on them. There's a McDonald's at the entrance of our neighborhood. I see them pull into the McDonald's drive-through, but don't actually go in the drive-through. They just go all the way around the building the long way, pull back out. Now they're behind me at the light. So I leave the neighborhood. I go to the next intersection. They go one direction. I go the other. That's the end of the story. So for that part. So Greg and I have our ride. We have a nice lunch. I come back into the neighborhood. As I'm coming back toward my house, I see the car again, parked 5 houses down at a house next to a big trailer with all kind of lawn clippings in it. When it all hits me, that wagon/trailer thing has been at that house for the last week and a half doing major landscaping on one of the houses, and it's part of the crew. And I know that because I've seen that car when I drop my son off at the bus stop every morning, and an individual gets out of that very car to join his landscaping buddies to do the work. Had I called the cops, he now saw what house I came out of.
Yeah.
And now knows I have a motorcycle. Had he got in trouble, fired, whatever, he knows exactly where I live and likely who tipped him off, and I just avoided getting a penis spray painted on my garage door.
There you go. It may be. Yeah.
Especially since they were probably enjoying some steamy hot adult kids meals from McDonald's during their lunch.
That's the only thing I can imagine that they were doing in there.
And the smell was probably one of the McDonald's sauce packets.
Now, here's one of the other things I couldn't help but think. because I have observed this individual prior to the day of the hotboxing, I also just happened to notice that he happened to not be white. And wouldn't it just be like Midwestern suburbia to be like upset that somebody of a different orientation is in their neighborhood doing things they shouldn't? I was going to call the cops if it were white high school kids. That didn't matter. But that did cross my mind. Like, of course this guy's bothered that, you know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like, it doesn't matter who you are. Just don't do that. I mean, I know kids are away at school for the day, but still, bro. Like,
Yeah. I mean, that might be something where you like, you know, call the number on the side of the trailer if there is one or something like that, and see if you can get a hold of whoever is running the company and be like, hey, I just wanted to make sure you're aware of something that's going on here.
Would you like, if you're in that
I don't know,
situation?
if it bothered me, it's hard to put me in that situation. I've been trying to put myself in those shoes, and I think that I would just move on. But if it bothered me to the point that I felt like I needed to do something, then that's probably the route I would go, is I would just call the employer.
Dylan, people are doing drugs in your quiet dead end neighborhood.
I think I'd have to see him there more than once.
That's your bar.
If it was one time, I mean, and it's during the day. So like that, to me, something about that feels a little less threatening. You know, if they're willing to kind of just sit in the neighborhood in the middle of the day, you know, how bad can it be, kind of thing. But I don't know. If I saw the same car there the next day, I'm for sure calling.
He's doing an honest, he's working an honest day's work. He just likes to take his lunch break and
Maybe
so
he's
part
got
of me,
glaucoma.
Part of me wanted to tap on the window and be
there
like,
are so many states in this union now where what he was doing would have been A-OK.
Totally fine.
Perfectly legal.
And part of me wanted to knock on the window and be like, hey, man, share. Or I call cops. Is it the good stuff? So anyway, yeah, talk about like the person that you call the cops on or have a confrontation with.
half a mile down the road.
Half a mile down the road. Anyway, these are the goings on in my world.
You have a very eventful life there, Kory.
Or I just squeeze every incident for. I'm not exaggerating. These are real goings on. I find the comedy in them and the etiquette questions in them. I like that stuff.
I'll fill you in on how things are going after the Gaither concert. So
there's gonna be a lot of weed at the Gaither concert.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just there to enjoy the Gaithers. All right.
Are you actually going to a Gaither concert?
December 2nd.
That's actually awesome. Is Michael Phelps still singing with him?
I don't know.
The
I don't know. Mark Lowry's supposed to be there. So
wow.
I feel good about it.
That's fun. Speaking of concerts, you want to tell the people what we're doing on Sunday?
You better tell him, because I don't even know the guy well enough. Mark Rebillett.
Mark Rebillett.
Is that this Sunday?
Yeah, our boy in Midler, Stefan in Cologne, Germany, sent us tickets to see Mark Rebier, Loop Daddy, the weird YouTuber.
So excited.
And he's doing a show at Kemba Live here in Columbus on Sunday, October 10th. October 9th at approximately 6 p.m. Join us at Kemba Live. See Mark Rebier do his Loop Daddy thing and wear a robe and not much else. Really excited to see him. He's just such a quirky dude, and it was so nice of Stefan to send us the tickets. And
very cool.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Very excited. I don't remember the last concert that I went to, and the weather I think is supposed to be beautiful.
Good, because it's an outdoor amphitheater, partly covered amphitheater, I believe. Never been there. Looking forward to it.
I'm glad to steal that moment away from you and your kids camping. So
I leave for jolly old London the next day. So
okay,
it's a lot. Does this feel like a good time to take a break and hear some words from some of our friends in Odd Pods?
Good as time as any.
I think so.
Hey, I'm Lauren.
And I'm John.
And we host the Beard Al Podcast, the podcast where we talk about two of the greatest things in the world, beer and Weird Al.
And a lot of other things. We're funny.
Yeah, that's basically what I told him to say. Good job with your
I
script.
listened.
Yay! But no, seriously, we try and pair a beer with a Weird Al song and talk about both things and go where the conversation takes us. It's fun. I promise. You'll like it.
Yeah, I mean, if you like talking about random things as well as, fine craft beers and some wonderful craft music.
Speaking of the Gaithers and Christmas, Dylan, your hypothesis is probably correct that Mark is there to sing Mary. Did you know he wrote that?
Yes.
I think he co-wrote that with Buddy Green.
That's why I said that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like his gotta be most popular song. He of course does a lot of like parodies and stuff, but that's gotta be his most popular song.
There couldn't be a better segue to something I wanted to bring up. I discovered that Tennessee whiskey, as made popular a few years ago by our boy Chris Stapleton, was actually written by Dean Dillon and Linda Hargrove, originally sung by David Allan Coe in the early 80s, and then George Jones covered it in 83. Sounds totally different.
Yeah.
It's a very country version of like old school country version of Tennessee whiskey. Do you ever have that where you discover that something that everybody's all about is like, yeah, there was 30 years ago that was a movie. They're just now redoing it. And you get that like excitement to go like deep dive it and like listen to that version or watch that version of the film. And then,
Yeah, I like to, especially with people that are huge into music, just to mess with them a little bit. Oh, you'll hear a classic song and you say, isn't that the Glee song? Did they steal the Glee song? I'm pretty sure that was Glee first.
tick people off.
Yeah, there's so much gatekeeping. It's really fun to screw with people that way.
It's a good, you should plug your episode with, Infectious Groove again.
Yeah. Infectious Groove Podcast is another Odd Pods Media show. We love their show. It's absolutely fantastic. It's all music. And if you like our show, which tries to find the positive in things and be more centrist, they do the same with music. They don't get snobby with music. They're not gatekeepers. And in fact, I was asked to guest on an episode that was intentionally meant to discuss gatekeeping and why you shouldn't do it, and especially with music. And it was their season 3 finale episode, which you can go back and find something about the gatekeeper in the title.
Do you know what number that was by chance?
It's their most recent episode. They haven't released another one since. So
Okay.
As of this moment when we're recording it, Kory's going to look it up. But very fun episode. We had a great time and talked about all kinds of things. And you should definitely check out their show. It's very, very good.
Yeah, very good show. As a matter of fact, on our network, not all the shows that we talk about and love are on our network. They are one that is. And like Dylan said, if you like our show, you'll like their show. If you don't like our show, theirs is better. So
What I'm sorry. I love and support you, but I haven't listened yet. Did you talk about like when you talked about musical gatekeeping, do you mean more like when people make fun of you for liking a certain band? Or
Oh, sure. No. This was like a common example would be like if Lily wore a Led Zeppelin shirt or a Journey shirt, and some old gruff 50-year-old would be like, "Do you even name 10 songs by Journey? Do you even know that kind of thing?" Like,
that's not really gatekeeping, is it?
Well, I think
Gatekeeping is you're too young to like them, or you're not hard enough to be into Pantera. Like that's gatekeeping.
That's kind of what that is, though.
it's close. It's like you can't be a fan unless you know their old stuff too.
Right.
Well, no. I think when I hear that, I hear you're wearing a Led Zeppelin t-shirt. Do you actually listen to Led Zeppelin?
Yeah.
Right.
Are you actually a Led Zeppelin fan?
Yeah,
how's that gatekeeping?
But if you
the
if you
intention.
dig in further, it's like if they said, "Oh, do you like Journey?" and Lily said yes, it's like, what was their first album? Can you name their top 10?
Okay, well then, yeah.
So it's like it's that attitude. We talk about a variety of ways people gatekeep in music. That being one of them. The episode is called "Keeper at the Gates." That's the name of the episode. You can go check that one out.
I'm pretty sure I just kept gatekeeping.
yeah.
Or if Lily says like, "Yeah, I love Arnel Pineda," and they go, "He wasn't their first lead vocalist.
You don't
it was
really
Steve
like
Perry."
you don't really like Journey. Then you like, yeah.
How about this? How about you used to like Journey? And I currently do.
There you go.
How about
I
that
like
one?
that.
we do talk about gatekeeping Star Wars a little bit on this
Oh,
show,
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of indirectly.
We do.
With people talking about how the prequels and sequels aren't real Star Wars and things like that. So we sort of get into it, which I think I mentioned on that episode. That's sort of how our show takes on that kind
Melds
of
with
theme.
that context.
But it was a great episode. Keeper at the Gates, Infectious Groove podcast. They also have a great vinyl channel, and they do stuff all the time in the vein of keeping it positive, like 5 best hidden gems from the 80s. And Russ over there runs a great YouTube channel that you can go check out and follow. And he talks about all kinds of genres of music and albums and CDs and records and all the stuff you should check out.
So you didn't really touch on people making fun of you for liking a certain band.
No, because that's not
Because
really
that's not real music, or that's not real country, or that's not real rap.
Yeah, I mean that does happen. I don't think we talked about that quite as much. And we talked a little bit about scenarios where somebody was sort of gatekeeping with you, so not letting you. And I said, I fortunately grew up with. I never really had that experience. We grew up with a mom who was a musician, so if anything, people were her peers that were musicians. If we were around her, were probably excited to share older bands with us. Oh, if you like that, you should check out this, and especially that's really common in, probably like Christian circles to say, oh, if you like rock, check out Skillet, and if you like whatever, check out
Right.
this or that, and they can kind of point you to, Christian counterparts of popular.
If you like
music.
stand-up comedy, check out Mark Lowry.
Right, exactly. So it was more of a recommendation type culture that we grew up in versus like gatekeeping.
I just added an Ed Sheeran song to my playlist, my go-to playlist.
Oh, so you don't really like rock.
Right. And that's somebody that I think is a great example of somebody that music heads love to hate on, Ed Sheeran, because he's poppy or all, his stuff sounds similar to the next. But I'm like, if I like it, who cares?
Are there? Yeah.
Are there
I
other...
guess I don't run in a lot of circles that hate on a lot of music, I guess. As far as I know, like Ed Sheeran is beloved by most.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like at least in
You
my
need better
algorithm.
friends.
I do. Or at least a different algorithm.
it
It's
seems
just like
like you should
memes about
really check
is
out
the-
that
Nickelback's another one.
Yeah.
But that's like the one that the internet loves to
But
hate.
that was just funny.
That one's more funny than like...
Yeah.
Yeah, there was one that I don't remember the rocker. Somebody's going to know the meme or screenshot, but it was somebody from like Kiss was at some like metal, was talking about this like Asian K-pop metal band that they were like this fusion of music, and all these rockers were coming in below like, that's not real rock. And it was some classic American metal musician was like, these girls rock harder than... and it was cool. It was the opposite of that. It's like, who cares if they're little Korean girls doing heavy rock or heavy metal or whatever it is.
Yeah. See, that's one of the things. Like, if people were, I guess I'm not a big fan of crowd things, so I'm gonna hedge that with what I'm about to say. But like, do you know who isn't gatekeeping music? Do you know who isn't taking part in the I'm going to recommend the Christian version or whatever culture? The musicians themselves. Like, they don't want that. The Christian rock bands of our day, like they weren't all about trying to compare themselves to their secular counterparts. Like, they were just trying to have a rock band.
Right.
And they ended up signing with a Christian label because that's what was available to them. That's how they could make money. And so like the bands aren't into that kind of culture war situation. And so if the fans, there's gatekeeping. If you're really a fan of Gene Simmons, then you would like K-pop.
Right.
Boom, roasted.
I do find it interesting though to hear anybody that's well known in whatever industry they're in. I do think it's a reminder to those folks, for all of you who listen, to be sure that you're recommending and like promoting up and comers in your industry, because that's a great way to like spread the love of like if a Jerry Seinfeld says, you got to keep an eye on this kid, some 21-year-old comic who's just killing at the Comedy Cellar in New York night after night after night, right? That's always fun to hear.
Yeah.
Like, or athletes. do that a lot. Where they'll tweet a clip of somebody making a cool move in college basketball, and you'll see LeBron be like, "This kid's got skills" or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
it's always cool to see that, encouragement of the up and comers in their industry.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
That's cool.
Agree.
I feel like I've dominated this episode.
It doesn't matter, man.
You guys talk about things.
Uh,
And I'm going to dominate like the next 2 or 3 because I'll be in Europe. So.
Give the people what they want.
I'm wearing a flannel today, and so that's part of our fall conversation.
Yeah.
A flannel with a very colorful Detroit Lions
Yes, it is.
hat.
Yes, it is. It's how I'm trying to fight cancer with the hat. Hats fight cancer.
Yep. Cancer sucks.
Yeah. So anyway, I've got these photos on this iPad over here.
Oh, yeah. So,
And they're creeping me out.
creepy. So, Kendall is a fan of the horror films.
Yes.
And I could be, but I feel like the jump scares have just intensified since I watched horror films. So I don't watch as many as I used to, but there's one coming out called Smile. And I don't know much about the premise of the movie, but I have heard a bit about the way that it's being marketed, which I think is brilliant. So apparently this was the director's idea, and Kendall's going to share some photos. It was the director's idea. If you're watching on YouTube, oh my gosh, it was the director's idea to have actors from the film go to Major League Baseball games with a loud colored shirt from the movie and do the creepy smile that is seen in the trailer. This is the kind of smile where like they're looking down, but they're looking through like just under their brow and their eyelids. So these are actors from the film who, unbeknownst to the people around them, and look at that lady, go back, look at that lady in the bottom right, her face. She's like, what the heck? These people are actors in the film, and they're marketing the movie by wearing these neon yellow shirts, doing the creepy ass smile at major sporting events. And I think it's brilliant. That one's not as good. But man, that first one of the lady behind the dugout, like that's so creepy. What are you guys' thoughts on this?
Genius. I love
this
it.
marketing. Like, and here's what the director was quoted to have said when this went viral, like in the algorithms, the day after the games. She's like, I'm so glad because we were worried that it wouldn't work. Like we didn't know that it would sort of take.
Yeah.
And it clearly has. And so I don't think I'm going to watch the movie. I just think the marketing is so fun.
It's cheap. It's cheap marketing, right? They just had to buy a ticket.
Buy a ticket, wear
They're
a loud
expensive
shirt.
tickets, but still.
Yeah. Creepy. Anyway, that's it. That's really it about this scary movies. That guy looks like he's about to murder someone.
Yeah.
It's very well done. Very creepy.
The lady.
Can't
And
get
the
over it, man.
The lady in the foreground is great.
You could just see that lady going, oh, no.
Oh, hell no. No, she might sound like, oh, hell no.
She's going to take her nachos and go.
Yeah. Anyway, I just thought that was noteworthy.
You know, I applaud the effort. If somebody can keep me engaged and not just feeling marketed to or marketed at, but they can actually make you laugh or keep you engaged, or you find something interesting, or they make you go look something up because you're so intrigued.
Witnesses say that they held the smiles for the entirety of the game.
Wow.
They didn't just wait for a camera to be panning over, especially if you're behind home plate.
Oh, yeah.
You've got to hold that face.
You got to hold that, man.
So, like, props to them. Like, they should have gotten paid.
Hopefully.
Something.
I'm sure
extra.
they did.
But anyway, I thought that was kind of crazy, cool guerrilla marketing.
I could have sat there with my normal face and gotten paid. Would have been
Just you're like breathing.
easy for me. Yeah, breathing into a mic. If you ever hear that, I'm actually just sleeping at those parts while we're doing the show.
Oh man. Have you guys seen any good movies lately? Are there any you got your eye on?
Hey, I finished up no films, but I started watching Picard
Oh,
recently.
nice. Is that on the CBS streamer?
That's on the
Paramount.
Yeah. Like I said, I can't wait till you're done with all of this and you've had some time to collect your thoughts because I'm very intrigued to chat. We watched Top Gun Maverick again. So that's one.
Better the second time?
Yeah, I think so.
I thought so too.
Yeah,
when
I
watched
think
it.
so. It was very good. Still watching through She-Hulk, which I'm enjoying. Andor is great. I'm sure there's more, but welcome to Wrexham. We're still going. As far as things to see, the Black Panther 2 trailer just dropped.
Fun.
And
That'll see.
The big debate really at this point about this movie,
Wakanda Forever.
Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever, is Letitia Wright, I'm not sure if I'm saying it correctly, who would have been T'Challa's sister in the film. Is she going to be the new Black Panther? By all marketing accounts, she is. Or is that a big red herring by Marvel?
Sure.
And is there going to be some sort of plot twist? The fans are working themselves into a tizzy, like debating it. And I'm just excited to just go see another Marvel movie. What's cool is if you haven't seen the trailer or don't know what they're doing with this one, I'm going to butcher this for all the hardcore comic fans, but another Marvel character, kind of a la Aquaman in the Marvel universe, is Namor, whatever. I don't know how to say it. And I think traditionally he's like the head of Atlantis. In this, they've sort of made his culture like the Aztec culture. And so I'm just excited for Ryan Coogler, who did the first Black Panther movie, like the director, producer, whatever. Mm-hmm. It had an awesome soundtrack. So I'm guessing he's going to have a killer soundtrack. Again, we're going to have some crazy cool, like underwater sequences and like Aztec culture thrown into this with Wakandan culture. And we're going to have Namor or whatever his name is. I'm excited for whatever they're going to do with this. This just feels so off the wall, but not in a way that like it's untamed, because Ryan Coogler has at least an idea of what he did in the first movie and sort of how to keep that story going. So I don't really care what they do with T'Challa as far as the Black Panther suit at this point. I trust Kevin Feige enough to not like totally botch it.
Yeah. Entertain me. Yeah. I'm not going to get tugged into, does your storyline meet my morals
and my what I think should happen. And I don't care. I'm excited. I think it'll be a really fun one to go see in theaters. So I can't wait.
I saw a meme that was, a close-up of Namor looking at the Wakandan queen, I think it is. Mm-hmm. And then right after that is Ariel. Because people are mad that Ariel's black.
Oh, right.
And so it's like Sea Guy meets Wakandan queen, and then Ariel was born.
Was that the anti-woke thing, or that Little Mermaid was played by a black actress? They're upset it's ruining their childhood somehow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anti-woke is upset that it's ruining their childhood, that she's black and that she has red hair. The woke people are mad on the other side because she's not black enough. So we don't get political on this podcast. So we, whatever.
We're just describing it.
We're just describing the situation. Yeah. And it's like, it's just insane.
I thought that it was...
There's enough people on both sides to make your head spin.
Yeah. It is exhausting.
I thought it was funny. We were just talking about the Buzz Lightyear not using Tim Allen because Disney was too low for conservative Tim Allen. All to find out at the same time Disney was working on a new series with Tim Allen, which was the Santa Claus series. And it's like, it had nothing to do with not being able to work with Tim Allen. Literally had another project.
It was a different character.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, on top of the in-universe explanation wasn't good enough. The people that didn't look for the answer or listen for an explanation, but now they're finding out, Disney does still work with Tim Allen. He was just literally doing something else for them at the same time.
No Rings of Power for you yet?
I've only gotten 10 minutes in. This is just one of those things. I don't know if it's true or if it feels true. When you if I think about, hey, I want to go back and watch the Lord of the Rings series, I only own them extended. And even if you didn't own them extended, you know you're getting in for like, okay, this is going to take some time to go.
Yeah.
And that feels how this show is or is going to be. So it's not that I don't want to watch it, but I feel like this is one that's going to benefit from me being able to sit down and watch 2 or 3 episodes at a time.
I can understand that.
That's how it feels. Now, somebody can say, oh, I watched Lord of the Rings of Power. Doesn't matter at all. You could watch 20 minutes of an episode and then walk away and then watch another 30. Maybe that's true. Doesn't feel true in my head. It feels like I need to be able to sit and...
Knowing you're going to want to at least do 2 at once.
Okay.
I think.
So I'm kind of just letting some episodes build up for a while. And then I think I'll go in and when I have time and try to watch a couple 2 at a time, 3 at a time as I can. And if the season ends before I start watching it, it's okay. Like there's enough other stuff. There's enough. Marvel's going to have more shows. There's going to be more movies.
There's so much.
There's so much to watch. So I'm not going to run out of content.
Speaking of movies and lions, I'm really excited because I'm hearing great things about the Idris Elba film Beast. Do you guys know anything about this?
No.
So poachers kill this alpha lion's family. And so the lion takes revenge on this community where Idris Elba finds himself with his daughters on safari. And so he's taken it upon himself to hunt down this rogue, angry lion. People are calling it Jaws, but with a lion.
Yeah.
Way to sell it.
And the trailer looks terrific.
We're going to need a bigger blind.
Yeah. I looked it up, though, on Apple TV. To rent it is $19.99. To own it is $24.99. It's one of those
Too soon.
Yeah, too soon.
And there's a similar movie plot to that has to do with like an African tribe or something. And there's
The Ghost in the Darkness.
Ghost in the Darkness. Yeah.
Man, that's a deep cut. I pulled that out of my butt.
I can't believe you thought of that quickly. That was
we used to
really
watch
good.
it growing up at Dad's house.
Yeah.
We had it on a VHS.
So there was similar.
Who the heck was in that?
If you want to watch something now that's probably only like $2.99 to rent, go watch that. And then you can watch the new Idris Elba.
Ghost in
the Darkness. Yeah.
Darkness.
Read the premise just to show how close it was to this new one.
Is a 1996 American historical adventure film directed by Stephen Hopkins, and starring Val Kilmer and Michael Douglas. Plot. Oh, this is way too much.
They don't have a quick synopsis.
They're probably on IMDb, but I didn't Google that, and it would take airtime to also Google that. Basically, some lions.
Right there.
Fictionalized account of the Tsavo man-eaters, a pair of male lions that terrorized workers in and around Tsavo, Kenya during the building of the Uganda-Mombasa Railway in East Africa in 1898. So this seems to be based on a true story, whereas I don't think that Beast is. When he was being interviewed about it, though, it's not like it's like he tried so hard to not mention that it's basically Jaws with a lion.
Yeah.
He's like, no, things like this have been done before, right? Like similar, anyway. That's my Idris
sort of
Elba
like-
impression.
I don't want to say Jaws with a lion,
But it's,
but if you could start there as a comparison, I think it's kind of brilliant.
I love Jaws. I want to watch it.
Because let's think about how simple a lot of people in the world are like me. And if you came up to me and said, dude, have you seen the movie Beast? And I'd be like, no, what's it about? I haven't even heard of it. Like, it's like Jaws with a lion.
But with a lion. Yeah.
I'd be like, wow,
You're sold. Yeah.
That sounds really cool.
I can already see there being 3 more of these Beast films, and then the inevitable Beast meets Jaws film.
Yep.
Which is Beast is going to be chasing people, and so they're going to think that they're safe on a boat, but they're not.
Right.
Sharknado 5 versus Beast and Jaws.
Let us know. Comment on the episode below. Let us know if you've seen Beast and what your review of it is. Would love to hear. I'm an Idris Elba fan. That guy, he can do anything, I feel like. Spy movies, action movies, bad guy, good guy.
He's just not
drama.
allowed to be Ariel.
He's just not allowed to be Ariel. Well said. Have you heard of this Barbecue Becky meme?
No.
No.
Barbecue Becky So go to knowyourmeme or whatever.com. Barbecue Becky is a larger white woman in looks like pit viper sunglasses, like baseball outfielder sunglasses.
Okay.
And it's a true story. She's in California somewhere, and some African American men wanted to do a barbecue in a park, and she didn't like that. So she just called the cops.
Jeez.
And it escalated, and the guys were just innocently cooking, and she's just bothered. So this goes viral, this Barbecue Becky meme. And then in her honor, like a bunch of black people decide to have a massive barbecue at that same park.
Yeah, yeah.
But now she's become like the angry white racist Karen meme.
Okay.
So like when another meme of like Ariel doing the shot from the trailer where she's singing up to the surface of the water, you just see Barbecue Becky calling the cops. Just like it's the photo of her is so perfectly what you think of when you think of the person that would be upset by this.
Yeah, yeah.
It's so perfect in every way. You just saw her.
Yeah. I don't just Google it. I mean,
Barbecue Becky.
I don't need to describe it. It's like Kory said. It's exactly like you look at it and you just go, "Yep, makes sense."
Seems about right.
Seems about right.
Anyway, yeah, we've gotten on the edge of political a couple.
Here we
times
go.
here.
Yeah, it sounds like a great time to
Wrap it up.
where we get ourselves.
You
in
smell
trouble.
that?
I smell. You know what I smell right now? I smell something that's citrus with a spiciness. A citrus fire is what I smell.
Yeah.
Mm.
What do you smell?
I'm smelling my mustache wax
Yeah.
and my my beard butter from
Sounds
Artius
delicious.
Man.
Have you tried that on toast?
I get to smell it everywhere I go, and if I turn my head fast enough, I get an extra strong dose. You can get your own men's grooming products by going to artiusman.com. That's I always slow down when I spell it. ARTIUSMAN.com. Fill your cart with amazing, locally created, natural products, natural ingredients in the products, men's grooming stuff. It's so good. I love it. Artiusman.com. Use promo code THEMIDDLE at checkout. That's all caps, the middle, all one word, for 25% off of your first order. Holiday season is right around the corner. It's fall time. A lot of these scents lend themselves to like a more fall sort of vibe. And they have some amazing soy blend woodwick candles with amazing, more masculine scents, I would say. And check that out. And we would appreciate it. It helps them. It helps us. It helps you. It's a trifecta of win-win-winness.
Hashtag natural. Hashtag homemade. Hashtag shop local.
Right?
Hashtag
If you're local to
Support
us.
small business.
If you're not
Fresh.
local to us, then shop far away.
Shop far away.
hashtag boycott China. Hashtag
Well, we don't know where their packaging comes from. And then they're using actual oils instead of cheap fragrances.
Right.
Artius Man
That's the one they use.
didn't endorse those hashtags, but they endorse awesome products.
They make
So,
awesome products.
They make them. We endorse them.
which we endorse.
We endorse. I'm in sales.
That's
Doing a great job. I think I'm going to join you guys next time from London. I think we're going to try to record, and I'll join you guys remotely from the early morning hours in London. I think
You'll be recording a day ahead of us at the same time.
I'll let you know what
eating
happens,
mashed potatoes for breakfast.
Wibbly wobbly timey wimey stuff.
and hopefully hash browns that are jam packed full of baked beans. That's a throwback
And-
to a previous
Oh, yeah.
episode.
and roasted tomato. Oh yeah, no,
yeah,
this is the-
try them baked beans in the blue can and let me know what you think of them.
All
you
right,
better bring us back some foods to try.
I'm going to
too.
try some. I'm going to try to bring some things.
Yeah,
Yep.
Get that.
Hey, we love you. Thanks for listening. We hope that you find this hour to be positive and fun and a good time, and like you were just walking through a restaurant or bar and heard some geeks having a fun conversation that you wished you could be a part of, but you actually were, sort of. And so I hope you enjoy it. That's our goal with this podcast. If you enjoy it, please give us a good review, like 5 stars on Apple iTunes podcast thing or whatever would be great. Tell a friend. Leave a comment. Comments really help the algorithm. So even if you just say, great episode, fellas, that really helps us on the socials. Not that we care about that, but unfortunately it's a thing.
Even if you hate us, let us know that.
Yeah,
too.
worst episode ever.
Worst episode too. And then, especially if you hate it, make sure you hit the like button and share that with a friend.
Yeah.
Because that'll show us.
Really appreciate it. Why did Kory wear glasses for that episode? He's ridiculous. He needs to grow up. He was wrong about the snitching on the dude smoking a little
And Crystalia in general. Just all about anything in regards to Crystalia.
Yeah.
Can I plug Good Pods for a second?
Yep.
Are we done plugging?
Yeah.
I am.
Well, good.
Good Pods, if you don't have a good podcast player, a lot of people use Apple Podcasts, a lot of people use Spotify, some people listen and watch on YouTube. That's great. If you don't, also you can follow all 3 of us on Good Pods. You can listen and rate and comment about the episodes and shows. We can interact back. And then you get recommendations on what your friends are listening to when you connect on Good Pods. So you can see what we're listening to, we can see what you're listening to, and find other good podcasts after ours. So if you don't have a good podcast player or don't like your current one, check out Good Pods and make sure to follow From the Middle, follow us. And there's even an Odd Pods media group you can join. So all kinds of fun.
That's it.
That's everything.
Wrap
Join
it
us
up.
next Wednesday. Episode will be in your playlist when you wake up on Wednesday morning.
Shkibba-da-bop-bop-a-doo.
Out by
Love it.
Wieners.
Oh, God.